Good morning. It's a Critical Point podcast. I'm Rich Pawson. It is April 14th. Let's take a look at a 1 to 4 day forecast by the business cycle model based on cycle series analysis. And this is for the stock market via the SP 500 E-mini futures. Okay, we want to look at level 4 tops and bottoms and related upswings, downswings that occur during a week. Level 4 top had seller interest into a bottom, buyer interest, seller interest, and now buyer interest. Inside of this, it looks for waves of buyer and seller interest to try to come up with a sequence to tell us when they bought enough for the next top. And what the model's suggesting is it's likely 12 p.m. today Central Time on into the overnight market is the more ideal time to expect a level 4 top. And as we look at the sequence of level 5 and level 6 and level 7 inside of that, it looks like that can work. Now, there is a chance for an extension of additional level 5 that could shove it into late overnight session to early tomorrow, but it's unlikely it'll still be going higher towards the close of tomorrow. That would likely cause a revision to look at some other type of scenario. All right, any rate, we can see overnight, at least this morning anyways, the market has recovered a bit here. We can see it is overbought, and by the way, this is a 3-hour chart. It is overbought, but it's pulled back enough that we could start seeing inharmonious action or even a development of a negative divergence, which means the market can still go higher. So the bottom line is we think if it takes out the overnight high here, or yesterday's high, that we're probably going to see potential to move just a little higher than the high on April 12th. And we're looking at somewhere around 28.34 on into about 28.98. Don't know how accurate those are. We're not that interested in price objectives at this time due to the volatility. At any rate, it looks as though the trend is up. We won't know if the trend is not working until it returns to near the low of yesterday, and that's really too late if you're a fast trader, if you're an interweek to day trader. So you're going to have to watch some of these other levels and come up with tracement levels. What could be a sign this is not working? Let's move on out to the next larger trend. And so this is the daily chart. And those level 4s we were just talking about are creating pops and drops inside of a level 3 trend. That is the largest trends during a month. An uptrend and a downtrend, it reflects the more important buyer seller interest, business being done for a month, investing, trading for a month. So we can see that the bottom back in March, the low of the year, and we had buyer interest, we had seller interest, and they related to level 3 tops and bottoms. The trend has been up. It's been a minimum variation trend, just marching higher at a steady pace. But today is the first day for a level 3 top, and we can allow until April 17th on into the end of the week. And by next week, we should see at least a small setback into a level 3 low. Now, as we'll show in another podcast later today for still larger trends, this coming level 3 top could be a level 2, creating a more important chance or a lengthier consolidation phase, okay, that could last into May. Problem is, we may only get just a subtle pullback next week into level 3 and then still higher for the final chance for that level 2. Anyway, we can see on the daily stochastic indicator, it is overbought. It's trying to roll over for a sell signal. We can see the market has respected the 5-day average. They've been buying near that, or at least the seller has backed away. We can see it is within the price objective range here that can range as high as the 28.50, something similar to what we just showed for level 4. Then we come up with kind of a gap zone here and then have objectives as high as 30.66. And we're not really saying it's going there. It's just if the lower objectives don't work, then we have to consider, well, maybe it's going to stop with those higher objectives, and notice that is prior chart resistance. But also notice there's a little bit of a trader's gap here. Not a breakaway gap in our opinion, but a little trader's gap. So it may actually stall out between these two price objectives. We don't know for sure. All we do know is the 50-day average is coming down and is also nearby the 50-day average coming in at 30.13, or I'm sorry, maybe it's 28.80. The 200-day average is coming in probably around 30.13. Okay, so our conclusion is it's probably going to back off a little next week. There's a good chance it bounces today, but we have to start watching for a level 3 intra-month to monthly kind of top, and then also consider, could the market actually start consolidating into next month? As always, manage your risk relative to the analysis of others.